How do you become an idea machine? What inspires us to create? What makes us create? Inspiration can come from all different directions. When one is forced up against a wall, they are inspired to figure out their problem. Sometimes putting yourself in this uncomfortable position will ignite a fire under your ass to get you motivated to create. I'm a firm believer that comfort kills. Definitely check out James Altuchers' blog for the inspiration of this video. 1. Push past your comfort zone. You never want to be too comfortable. By coming up with more ideas than you think you can come up with, it forces you to really think and use your idea muscle. For example, if you create YouTube videos, force yourself to come up with over 100 different ideas before starting the channel, so you could have 2 years of content to set up every week. Always push past your comfort zone. Number 2, shitty paper. By writing on cheap paper, it will free your mind. Sometimes when people write on expensive notebooks or notebooks they put too much value on, they feel the need to write only down perfect ideas. What the hell is that about? By not doing anything, it will prevent growth in the idea that is going to get you one step closer into accomplishing what you want to accomplish. The more you produce, the closer you get towards reaching your goal. Number 3, come up with 20 different ideas if you can't think of 10. I'm going to repeat that. Make sure you come up with 20 different ideas if you can't think of 10. I love this part of his blog. This goes back to the people trying to be perfect with each idea they create. This will only limit yourself. Shut that part of your brain off. Do not limit yourself. Push yourself and keep moving. You never know what will be created. Number 4, screw what other people think. People create these barriers in their mind that prevent them from saying what is on their mind. I can accuse myself for doing this in the past. We are unsure of saying an idea, so we keep it inside. We might have moments where we come up with the idea way before anyone else, and because we doubted ourselves, nothing happened. And this is going to keep happening. An interesting quote that I like a lot that reminds me of this tip is, to avoid criticism, say nothing, do nothing, be nothing. Be nothing? I want to be something. I want to be someone. Stand up and speak. Create. Be stupid. Mess up. And keep messing up. Keep creating and sparking joy. Remember, everything's an experiment. And number 5, have fun. All the different ideas that you write down does not have to focus on your main passion. It will be good to explore different lists to expand your mind. Here are some examples of the different lists you can come up with. 10 ridiculous inventions you wish you could invent. 10 ways you could put more positive energy into this world. 10 things you learned yesterday. 10 books you would like to write. 10 ways to make people smile. 10 things you wish you knew now. 10 things you are going to learn within the next year. 10 ways to solve the current problem you are facing. The list can go on and on. Keep creating. Keep exercising that idea muscle. The idea machine. I love this concept. I love the idea of coming up with different ideas with practicing and exercising our idea muscle. And one of the main reasons we should all do this is to prevent the barriers inside of our minds from saying what we want to say, from coming up with those different ideas. Sometimes we get stuck in a rut and we allow the thoughts of others, the thoughts of our culture, and just these rules that prevent us from stepping outside our comfort zone, that prevent us from coming up with those different ideas. And one of the ways of destroying these barriers inside of our heads is practicing this method, is working on is becoming an idea machine. And you want to keep pushing yourself and creating, because your mind atrophies if you don't use it. Think of the mind as a muscle, and this is a great way of viewing all different walks of life, of all different aspects. So, what do I call it? I call it the universal spectrum. So, you learn one concept and you could apply it to another concept. So, the reason you want to view your idea as a muscle is because when you work out a muscle, it gets stronger, it gets bigger, and you want to apply that concept to your mind. So the more you use it, the more different workouts you provide it, the stronger it will get. And you could use that information in all different areas of your life. And for those that do want to improve their life, view so many different situations as a muscle, as something you need to practice, and you need to practice daily. And you should also view it as something that you need to rest from, that you need to switch up the routine. Because if you keep doing the same thing, that in itself will atrophy, and you need to switch it up. And by doing that, it's going to make you so much better. And the reason the reason I'm talking about the idea machine today is because for those of you out there that do have trouble with coming up with different things to talk about, this is such a phenomenal exercise to work on to help you push in that direction of becoming better at conversations. The first list you could do is the top 10 different conversations I want to talk about with the next person. Does that necessarily mean you have to talk about these 10 things? No, not at all. Everything you see on this channel, everything you read, everything you hear, it's all guidelines. You don't necessarily want to follow rules by rules, step by step. Everything's a guideline. See what works for you. Practice, experiment, and don't just apply it for a day. Apply it for multiple days. I believe in the blog post, he talks about how you need to consistently keep exercising this part of your brain for 6 months in order for it to be incorporated, in order for it to change your brain. And do that. Challenge yourself for 6 months. Write out 10 different ideas. Actually, I just started this now. I use Evernote as a way to write down my lists. It's great. You can download the app for free on your smartphone, and you could go on the website on your computer. So wherever you are, you will be able to write down your lists. This is great for me just because I'm not necessarily here all the time. And I move around a lot. So wherever I am, I could write down my scripts, I could write down these 10 different exercises, and it's just a great way to explore and to challenge yourself. And we're definitely going to talk more about creativity and what you could do to improve your creativity. Amazing book, this book, Steal Like an Artist, 10 Things Nobody Told You About Being Creative. This is a phenomenal book on being creative, and there's also a workbook that they give you like different exercises to explore. And I think everyone should read this. It doesn't matter what you study, what your major is. Being creative, being able to come up with different ideas applies to everyone's life. Every single field, every single career, every single situation you're gonna find yourself in, you're gonna need to be creative. And when you exercise that muscle, you are going to be so prepared for anything that lies ahead. So thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate it if you give this a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. And if you have anything else to add, I would love to hear what you have to say in the comments below. My name is Victor. I'll talk to you later. Bye.